All right, guys, good morning from my side of the world here. This is 5563 Wolf Village Drive here in Wolf Ranch. I'll just kind of give you a slow little pan here. You've got this nice retention pond over here, some good walkways, and you see these walking paths and trails and sidewalks all throughout the neighborhood. That's one of the main things about it. You see people out here walking dogs, and you kind of see Pikes Peak peeking out over there through those townhomes. That is Grand Cordera Parkway right here. I mean, you'll see, you'll kind of hear some of the noise. It's not like the crazy noisiest road. It's actually a fairly low traffic area, but it's not like a neighborhood street with homes. There's businesses over here, there's apartment complexes, and it kind of keeps going over. So, you know, it's a little busier than just like a standard street in a neighborhood. But the advantage there is that it does give you the option to, you know, quick access. You just take a left out here, you hit the next street, and you go out and you're on Powers Boulevard, which is where you'll get to work. So it does have its advantages. But yeah, so let's take a look at the house. Here's the left side of the home, which will be facing east. One thing to point out, if you'll notice where the sun's hitting here, and this is in the spring, so the sun's a little bit more north, but this is a north-facing driveway. That's important because here in Colorado, you know, the north-facing driveways tend to get less sun, and so you'll just be shoveling a little more snow on those rare times that we get, you know, maybe 3 to 5 times a year where you have to come out here and shovel the snow on your sidewalks and your driveways. But the advantage of it is that your backyard is usable pretty much year round because the snow melts back there. So you either get, you know, a melted driveway with an unusable backyard, or you get a driveway you have to snow shovel with a usable backyard. You know, so it depends on what you really prefer, but there's always advantages to both. So here's the front of the home. You see it's kind of xeriscaped here in the very front. It's got a little patch of grass right there. Nice aspen tree. And you can kind of see the proximity between the homes. This is pretty much where the grass and the rock meet. That's your property line, goes all the way back there. You got like your sprinkler system over there. Not your sprinkler system, but your irrigation line comes out over there, AC unit, etc. But it's all hidden by the shrubbery. The stucco looks in pretty decent shape. Love this wood, very unique. You don't see that a lot in these neighborhoods. The driveway seems to be in really good condition. And does have some security cameras here. We'll see if those stay or not. You do have a gate access here with this little walking path, so you can grab your lawn equipment and go back there to maintain the lawn, which is kind of nice. All right, here we are at the entrance of the home. We're just gonna kind of walk in. It is a covered entry, and you do have a covered entry. It's just not really big enough to put anything on it necessarily, like a chair or something. I suppose you could put something small here, but you know, no big furniture. But it is covered, which is nice. When you walk in here, just to the right, these stairs go up to the house, to the upstairs. These stairs go down to the basement. I do like this sort of slightly bigger entryway here. You can put a bench and maybe a coat rack over here. So these ceilings are nice and tall, 9 or 10 feet. They look maybe closer to 9. Love this wallpaper, it looks real cute. Real formal dining room here, quite large. Hardwood floors is what we're walking on here. Nice touches. You can kind of see the quality of it. Good neutral color. And then initially you had asked about the kitchen, if the cabinets left and right were the only pantry. That is sort of a pantry that goes with the kitchen, but they have this, I guess, closet that they converted. I don't know if this was a coat closet or whatever, but they converted it to an actual pantry. It was most likely built as an actual pantry because it's so close to the kitchen. Typically coat closets are at the front of the house. So you do have an actual pantry. And yeah, you asked about the finishes. Everything looks really nice. It's in great shape, particularly on this level. And these cabinets, they're not like wood cabinets, but they're this like hardy sort of laminate cover on it. These are really easy to clean and care for, sometimes better than wood. So a lot of people opt to get these. But nice counters, really beautiful backsplash. You've got, don't let this fool you here, you've got a full-size oven, okay? And then you've got a microwave. So there's no double oven here, but it's got a microwave there. I mean, for the two of you, that should be totally adequate. I love this gas range with the hood vent that vents outside of the home. That's real important. A lot of times those cabinets go across there and it's just like a little vent on top that filters and blows it back into the room. So that, in terms of cooking and keeping the house clean and smelling good, it's a really nice feature. You said you preferred that single basin sink, so you've kind of got this farmhouse style. It looks really good. Love this, you know, arched faucet, but it is single, which I think that's fantastic. Good size island here. You can see it from this angle here. So you've got the formal dining here, and then you've got your 4 potential, and those are quite large stools, but 4 seats here. And then you've got a small little breakfast nook over there with some equally cute wallpaper that, if you didn't like that particular one, I like the one in the dining, but this one's a little floral. If you didn't like this, you could replace it with something else or do more of a feature wall here, but super cute. Love that light fixture as well. And again, you'll notice this hardwood continues all the way through here. And here's your main level living area. So it's just got the one big living area here on this particular level, but it is quite large. It's actually, this is a big sofa, a couple chairs. It's funny, I actually have these exact chairs in a slightly different color. But big enough for a sectional and, whatever else you wanted to put in here. Love all the windows. It's just full of windows. These wood beams, I'm not sure if they were done when they built or not, or added later, but it just adds a nice warm touch. Good shape. Love the light fixture there. Get your gas fireplace over here. It looks like these were painted maybe, but it does kind of keep that same look they've got going on here. TV's mounted up there, and it does go floor to ceiling, which is nice. You can see I just want to show you because you don't see these sometimes in pictures. The baseboards are kind of that modern, looks like maybe a 3-inch modern baseboard. It doesn't have the beveled edge, which is kind of preferred these days. Your fridge is not counter depth. That's one of the questions you asked. You could, if you wanted to, get a counter depth fridge. You'll lose, 9 inches, 8 or 9 inches worth of storage there. But, well, not in storage, but just, interior space in the fridge. But it's really not in the way. There's tons of room here. But if you wanted it to be flush, you absolutely could replace that with a counter depth fridge. And here's the cabinets. It's the same thing on the other side where it has these pull-out drawers here, which are super nice and definitely preferred. You notice here, you've also got drawers here. This is anybody who's ever been in these, these kind of kitchens that have the drawers say they absolutely love them over the cabinets if you can get them. And then here's the other side. Same thing, drawers, more storage. The cabinets are quite deep as well, especially these ones on the side, so you can fit big stuff in there, not just kind of smaller plates. And then you've kind of got this little mini fridge over here. You could do a wine fridge, whatever, but really nice. This is a fantastic layout for sure. And then you'll also notice the two-tone deal they've got going on here. So the main cabinets are white, and these cabinets are gray, which kind of helps it sort of blend in with everything. And that's a real popular look right now. You asked in here if there was this is the mudroom here, and it does have the tile. You want this in here, so whenever you track in, snow and rain and stuff like that, dirt, that it kind of stays here. It's much easier to clean on this tile. But I did not see an actual outlet in here, although there's an outlet just on the other side here. It'd be very easy to get one. Same thing over here. You could poke one over there, get an electrician that had one, not a big deal. And here's the garage. And so you've got the 1, 2, 3 car, and those are all deep, by the way, all very deep. And then you've got this tandem, which is the 4th bay. And so, honestly, this house has a lot of storage options. You can tell in here, these ceilings are at least 12 to 13 feet, if not taller. Lots of storage, all finished on the walls. It's just, there's lots of options for all your toys like bikes and, snowboards, whatever. There's even this little added bit of storage up above, which just makes it nice and efficient. This is a insulated garage door. And then your flooring even has this nice, I forget what this stuff is called, but they have kind of, they've scored it with this stuff on top of here. So it's not just raw concrete. And some of it's coming up a little bit, but it's just nice. It makes it look finished and well taken care of. Very easy to wash off if the snow gets off of your cars, and kind of protects the concrete as well. So 2 different garage door openers. You can see those 2. Got some pegboard over here to hang all your stuff. Really like it. Got this outdoor fridge here. They did say a lot of stuff was negotiable, so we can talk more about that. Also, you've got 2 windows, large windows that are up. So that just gives you natural sunlight. It's just a really great layout. And there's just 3 stairs as you walk up here. Right, and we will, let's go outside in the backyard. So we're exiting through the back sliding glass door. Got a little concrete pad here. They've built this little mini fence inside of here. So in Wolf Ranch, every single fence is this split rail fence. And so you'll see a lot of times you'll get approval from the HOA to build a little inside fence if you have a dog, which is what they had. You can kind of tell. And this kind of just gives the dogs a little area they can run around in without having to worry about the larger yard. Super common with like small kids, dogs, you see that occasionally. But as you come out here, you can see you've got this little area here, the sitting area. The grass this will come back. I know it looks dead, but once they turn the sprinklers on, this stuff will all come back. You do have room over here if you wanted to put like some sort of small shed. That would be nice, although I don't think you would need it with the amount of storage you have in this house. There's the front there I was mentioning, that walkway. Comes all the way over here. And this is what I was talking about that southern sun in the wintertime. This is the sun you get here. So all this stuff gets melted, whereas your driveway on this particular home would not. That's all covered right there though, which is kind of nice. So if you wanted to put like an outdoor eating area, you could definitely eat there year round, or, if it's not too cold outside. People tend to live outside here quite a bit. The exterior is really a extended living space, especially if it's covered. I'm just kind of walking all the way to the edges here. You can kind of see the neighbors here. But all these trees, especially once they all fill in, give you a good amount of privacy. The window wells do look like they all have window well covers, which is nice because you don't always see that. But that helps with, small dogs, small children that come over to visit, things like that. Really beautiful trees. Some aspens, they're like my favorite here. This is a little more open here, so if it's me, I'm adding a couple little trees here to kind of keep that a little more private. But really nice, well landscaped. The spring is just starting, so everything's just starting to come in. Again, the stucco looks really good. And up there, that's actually the primary bedroom suite. All right. Oops. Okay, so we are back inside. Heading back to the front here. I love this. This hallway is really nice and wide. I do like that. I forgot to mention earlier, there is a little small half bath here all the way at the front of the house for your guests. I love this kind of feature because a lot of times these little half baths are towards like the living space, and the fact that it's way up here in the front, away from all the living areas and dining areas, when you have guests over, it really does give them some good privacy. It's got a pocket door, so you don't have any weird like doors opening to block you going upstairs, and you have a couple of these upper windows that give you the sunlight but still keeping the privacy. I do love that little pedestal sink there. So anyway, so this is the entry again. And so, we can go downstairs in a minute, but I'm gonna go upstairs. The carpet has seen better days. The cool thing is it's very soft. Like I've got my shoes off right now, it's very soft. But it's a lived in home. So it's not the worst I've ever seen, but it could use a cleaning. Just a sprucing up would be nice, but I can tell the padding is pretty good underneath. When you first walk up, you have the laundry room here. Again, with windows, there's lots of windows, lots of natural light throughout this home. Love this tile here. You've got laundry plus a hanging rack over here. You kind of see all that. Very big room for a laundry room. And then at the top of the stairs here, you've got this landing, which they have situated as like a little office type area. That's a built-in right there, so that desk will stay. They do have, I've seen this in several parts of the home, but they have some floor outlets that have been pre-wired. So if you ever wanted to put like a chair with a lamp, you could do that there. And that's overlooking all that. And you can see the mountains through there. All right. So now we will walk around here. So you do have 3 spare bedrooms plus the primary. So there's 4 total bedrooms here. There's a 5th one in the basement. But right here you've got 1, 2, 3 guest bedrooms. And then you've got your guest full bathroom with 2 different sinks, plus your linen closet. And then the primary suites around the corner here. So let me just show you each of these real quick. I know you've seen them in pictures, so I'm trying to find just some of the things that maybe you can't see. Again, all throughout the home, this is the style on the doors. Very modern look. Really great shape though. Again, the carpet's the one thing you may want to get shampooed, or we can ask them to do it or something, but this is a lived-in home, so you're going to have things like this. Or you could just plan on replacing it with something different. Love these built-ins right here. Super cute. You got the rolling ladder too. And then here's the closet. These are all in these guest bedrooms the same. These are these side-by-side closets. So just wanted to show you, I'll show you the one here, but they're all the same. Kind of a standard closet, but a little on the larger side. You do have views from this room of Pikes Peak. You can kind of see it through there. Although when I was trying to adjust these blinds, some of the adjustments were not working right. Like this one adjusts, right? This one is kind of broken. So you do notice that they have, well, maybe you can't see, but they have like a filter on these windows because they do face directly west, so that sun will hit it. But you put some blackout curtains and you have that, it'll be fine in here at the hottest part of the day in the summer. Okay, go around the corner here. I'll go to these other bedrooms in a sec. Here's the guest bathroom. It's got some good space, some good room in here. 2 sinks. This is not near as updated. The counters and stuff like that, they can, that it is downstairs. In fact, the master bedroom or the primary bedroom bathroom plus this bathroom here, they could use a small facelift. I think it would really add, if you wanted to match the rest of the home, you could do that. But, this counter is just a laminate counter, a little older look. These sinks are mounted on top. You can get some undermounted sinks. Maybe even paint these or, replace this whole piece right here, this whole vanity with something nice. The tile in here is just kind of a plain entry-level tile. It's not like in bad shape or anything. It's just, it's not as nice as the first floor, for sure. Or even the other parts of the home. This carpet could be stretched as well. You see a little, how it's kind of rippled right there. You got a few little stains and that sort of thing. Okay, so here's the next bedroom here. You do have attic access in this bedroom. But again, these ceilings are, they look either standard height or slightly taller than standard height, but they're not like 9 foot. But it, you know, it's nice. Same side-by-side closet. You do have this sort of feature wall that's been painted black. Looks like a boy's room in here. Just the one window. And they also have that same film over it to kind of protect it from the heat. And you can kind of see some mountains over there, but you mostly see the neighbor's house right there. You got these mounted lights. I'm assuming those stay. They're just some push lights, although they're not working right now. Ceiling fans. All right. Bedroom, guest bedroom number 3. And you can see it's a lot brighter in here because of the southern sun. They have the same kind of film, darkening film on that window as well. You can see this one, they just kind of have that as an office. These are all standard size rooms. That first one I showed you was a little on the larger side, but standard size rooms. You can fit a queen bed in here, no problem. Again, ceiling fan, and then faces south towards the backyard. Okay, now double door entry here going into the primary suite. You do have this little soffit around here. So you've got these elevated ceilings here, just makes it more formal. That's a huge king size bed, so with very wide side tables and space. So you've got lots of room in here. The 3 windows, again, with that film on there to kind of help it, because you do get that southern sun, right? Sunlight's fantastic, but if you don't have these in the summer, it can just beat down on the house. And so it's a nice feature to add. Yep. All right, now, and they do have the mounted TV. I like how they kind of have this stuff hidden, although a lot of this stuff will come down. We can talk about the mounts if you want to keep those or not. This does have a pocket door right here. But this, again, it's just a little dated, right? You know, this looks to me, I haven't looked at the notes yet, but this looks to me like this was possibly a model home back in the day, because when you see different colors and different styles all throughout the home, they're trying to show off what the things that you can and can't do. But this would be very easy to sort of update this if you wanted to. But it's quite a large room. You've got split vanities. The window over there, which kind of looks out, you know, towards your neighbor's house, but also towards that retention pond. You've got the walk-in shower with the bench. You can kind of see in here. All right, you've got the toilet in here. This is important. You've got the door. A lot of times homes don't have a door over that room, so that's kind of nice to have. You do have some cracked tile every now and then in here, so, but again, I definitely would, you know, potentially consider doing a remodel in here. Just cosmetic, nothing major. Here is the linen sort of closet. It's huge, it's a double closet. Great storage here. And then yes, your question, it is red. Not sure if that was like a personal thing, if you're trying to go for that sort of smoker's lounge look or what, but you got pocket doors here for this walk-in, and windows. I love windows and closets. Natural light in closets is great. There's that retention pond across. Yeah, you can just kind of see how they have it laid out. Got double racks there, longer racks like this for dresses and suits and things. Hey, look, a little built-in safe too. So that's everything. It's got a standard light in here. So you can kind of see what I'm saying with the, this is a laminate top here. So it's like, do you paint these and just add a nice top and a new sink? Do you retile this, or do you rip all this out and put like a, just like a standalone clawfoot tub there? Are you tub people? Are you not? There's lots of things you could do in here, but it's got a very large space, and I do like that. All right, we're back at the landing here, as you just give you reference. And we're walking down to the basement. The basement seems to have taller 9-foot ceilings as well. I like this landing here. It honestly, it's nice. It's not one big giant stairs. It gives you a little break as you're going down and up. Okay, so here's the living space. You've got some speakers up here. We would call this a recreational room. They did say things are negotiable, so I would assume we would ask for this. But you can kind of just see the whole room. So I'm just going to point out where we are. So over there, yes, that is actually just a storage closet. All back behind there, there's a storage area, unfinished. Right here is the mechanical room over here in that closet. This right here is the full bath. And then that little door there, I think it's a little linen closet. And then here's the bedroom right here. So we're gonna start with the bedroom. Again, you can see these tall 9 to possibly 10-foot ceilings, maybe 9.5. Good size, big king bed. This is a great guest suite for your family that comes to visit or friends. Good size side-by-side closet there again. And these chairs are huge, and there's still space. You can see the window well. It's got the ladder for the egress to get out to your backyard. That's kind of a required thing for a bedroom. Standard light. This carpet's in better shape. You can tell they don't use this as much as the upstairs. This is definitely in much better shape. Bathroom here to the right. Same kind of situation as the upstairs guest bathroom. So you could try to match those two if you ever decided to go and do that. But I like the floors. These are nice. Same kind of tile as well as the upstairs guest bathroom. The single sink. Most of the light fixtures in this house are, I like them. I'm not sure if you guys do, but I do like them. You can tell they've been added after the fact. All right, so yeah, little linen closet or storage closet for games and that sort of thing. Here's your mechanical room. This is just where your furnace and your water heater should be in here. Like your water mains are down here. It's the main coming out of the ground there. In Colorado, you see these homes that have this. This is almost like an electrical panel for your water lines, which is super cool. I wish I had these in my house because it doesn't, but everything's labeled. So if you ever need to turn off water to a certain thing, you can here. Red is hot, blue is cold. All right, so here's your furnace. These are the lines that go to the AC. Water heater's, it's peaked around the corner here. There's your water heater. So it's a smaller room, but adequate for what it is. I do want to point out something. If you were here, I'd point this out. But you see how it's built this way with two different horizontal beams here that are parallel with the floor. That's what you want to see. The older builds, if we were looking at any of those homes that you sent me before, a lot of them would not have that. And so this almost acts like a shock or a spring system for your home. And it kind of, if the ground moves over time, it kind of does this and it keeps everything level, which is awesome. So you want to see that. All right. And then this was the door you had asked about. So you go in here, it has a lock on it, but you go in here and this is what you see. It's all insulated, which is nice. This is the under the stairs storage. So the stairs go upstairs there. And then you can kind of see this right here. This line here, I'm just curious what it is. This looks like, I don't know, some kind of, I guess this is like a drain line that comes down here. That's all stuff we can find out during the inspection, but I'm just pointing it out because it kind of comes across here and you got to step over it. Yeah. But, you know, for storage, it's great. You do have, oh, I wonder if this is a radon system here. So it does have a radon system. You can see it's got this gauge here, it's measuring it, so it's good to go. That could very well be what that is a radon system. That's good to have, actually, because then you don't have to worry about it. I mean, you still want to test for it, but if it comes back high, all you got to do is fix the fan, and that's something we would ask the sellers to do anyway. So, yeah. So that's the basement. You know, because it's a fully submerged in-ground basement, it is on the darker side down here. But, you know, there are things you can do to add lighting and maybe some recessed lighting on the ceiling, add, you know, some can lights up there that really will brighten the whole thing up. But it's a cool basement. Okay, guys, that's it for the showing. I thought it was great. I'll send you some additional notes on this, but I'm going to get this video uploaded as soon as I can. And let me know if you have any questions.